All right, everyone, back with another episode. It's been a tumultuous week in the world, in political affairs, and everybody wants to know my opinion. And I think Jimmy Fallon was not that mean to the Rizzler. I think people are really overdoing it, okay? He didn't hear the kid ask to take the snack from him. All right, people really hate on Jimmy Fallon, possibly for good reason. I don't know. I think he's talented. I think he's funny. But people on Twitter are saying he's jealous of the Rizzler's fame. Let's not get crazy. All right? Let's not get crazy. He's bored of the job at most. But jealous of the Rizzler. I mean, come on. What are we doing? I'm here on my fifth episode. Is it fifth? I believe it's the fifth. Yeah, got the man bun in. Actually, I'll take the man bun out. I remember once my cousin-in-law got in trouble one Christmas because he was drunk and asked if the man bun. I had a man bun, I guess, a few years ago. It's not out of choice. It's just because I haven't gotten a haircut, and it's nice to keep the hair out of my eyes. But my cousin-in-law got in trouble because he said something to the extent of, "Is that so guys can hold it when you're servicing that?" It was a funny joke, but it's not great to say at the family Christmas, I guess. I didn't care. I thought it was funny. I'm 12 days off weed, so that's cool. I thought it made me productive. In college, I think it did. I think it does at times, right? Like it wakes me up at night if I'm tired. I remember in college I used to go to the piano room every day, and I would smoke right before I went in, and that would it would make practice, because practice is boring, but it would make practice fun. It makes anything that's boring fun, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm trying to quit, and so far it's pretty easy. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. I'm on my fifth podcast, so that's cool. And there's my cat. He'll probably jump up here at some point. I'm allergic to him. That's why I'm sniffling. Somebody told me that it would take a year of having this cat to not be allergic to him, but I sneeze 1,000 times a day. I got on this food that makes you not allergic, and that worked for a little while, but dude, there's hair everywhere. Look, there's hair. It's inescapable, and I need to vacuum, and I have yet to really do that for a while, so I gotta get that done. But I wanted to talk about the Beeple drawing. I'm just plowing through topics here, but I'm trying to get used to this, make it work. The Beeple video, where I made the artist Beeple give me a drawing, and I did two of those, and one went mega viral. And I may have to do an update video on it. We're going to wait till January. But basically, I'll show the video, and then perhaps I'll talk about it after. I stole art from the third most valuable artist alive.
Can I show you a magic trick? Draw a stick figure. Thanks, man.
After that video went viral, I actually did get some serious offers in my DMs. But the guy who offered me $125,000 didn't answer my follow-up. And this is the profile of the guy who offered me $10,000.
How I make $400 weekly as a 14-year-old on Roblox.
I tried having it authenticated, but it needed to be signed. I was asked to go to Minneapolis to interview all the speakers at a conference by Gary Vee.
Sean is my best friend.
One of those speakers was Beeple.
This says you're allowed to be in the video.
I had him sign a content agreement form, and then I asked him to play Hangman.
It's an easy one.
Okay, Z. The goal was to lose on purpose.
X.
Let's give Q a try.
Wait, you're just getting rid of drawing.
He didn't realize the middle of the page was cut out.
I now have another Beeple drawing.
In addition to getting a second drawing, the content agreement form I had him sign was fake. I now had a signed Beeple artwork, and it's being authenticated as we speak. Now I just have to figure out how to get him to sign the second one. That second drawing, I went to VCon. It was Gary Vee's event. And I thought, you know what? There's no better place to sell this than at his event, because they were doing some auction. They asked me if I had anything I'd want to sell while I was there, and it was fun. But it ended up selling for $700. Somebody came up to me after, and they were like, I tried to bet $800, but the app wasn't working. So it doesn't mean it's not $1 million drawing. It just means that whatever the service was that they used for that specific event didn't really work. So I maintain that this drawing is worth $1 million or more. But the first drawing is missing because I gave it to this store, and basically I gave it to this store because they were going to get it authenticated for me. They sent it out to PSA. PSA didn't want to authenticate it. So they get it sent back, and to their credit, I didn't go back for a few months. I let it sit in the store because it's a collectible store with thousands of dollars, not million, but probably like $100,000 worth of collectibles. So I'm like, it's fine there. I finally go back months later, and I'm like, hey, I'm here for that drawing. And they're like, oh, you never came and picked it up? I'm like, no. So then the guy's like, oh, come back here. Comes back, he's like, yeah, so like, and he's not really answering me, and then he's like, yeah, and the one guy is like, you know who has it, right? And he's like, you think? And I'm like, who? He's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, what do you mean don't worry about it? And he's like, yeah, it's just this guy. It's a whole thing. And I'm like, dude, I'll make a video about him, and we'll get millions of views, and we'll, like, scare him out of the hole that he's hiding in, whatever this is. And he's like, you don't want to mess with this guy, man. And I'm like, what's he, in the mob or something? So they don't answer me. They don't give me a clear answer. I'm directed to some other guy who's like now the manager. And basically he tells me this whole story about how the store was robbed. And he's going to try and get it back for me. And it's been months of like, I don't know. He told me not to talk about it. So maybe I wait until January like he said. But guys, I've gotten a lot of comments asking for an update. So just know the story has progressed. It is now a hidden treasure somewhere. And the guy has been very nice to me, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. No, I mean, it's not his fault, but giving the whole ordeal the benefit of the doubt. But it is it's sad because every once in a while I see a comment on the video and then I just get like mad because it's like missing and nobody's giving me answers. Nobody's telling me. They're just like, this guy, evidently Tony Soprano somewhere has it, and they don't want me to call him out because he's like, I don't know what it is, but I'll make a video about him. If he kills a guy over a TikTok, that would be, I mean, he'll go to prison, right? Is the Beeple drawing worth my life? No. But, I mean, is he really going to kill a guy over a 60-second clip? People don't remember. They're not going to. They'll comment on his LinkedIn a couple times, and then it's over. And then they forget. Then they move on. That's how the internet works. I mean, that's how being angry online works, right? I don't know. Stop commenting on my podcast. 450 views for 1 million subs is really bad. I know that. Nobody follows me for me at this point. Maybe, but I got these subscribers off of short clips, little bumps of content. People sub, boom, 60 seconds. A week later, like I said, they don't remember why they follow me. They comment on the podcast. Who is this guy? I'm just a guy trying to make it work, all right? Stop telling me my engagement sucks or I fell off. I am trying, okay? I am trying. All right. We got that out of the way. I thought about going back to roofing for a day. And because I was just trying to think of what job would help me do comedy more frequently. Roofing would not be it. I used to roof. My grandpa roofed. My dad roofed. Possibly my great-grandfather. It's just I come from a long line of guys that worked on flat roofs. And I thought about doing it. I used to do it every summer in the heat. It sucked. You have to wear long sleeves and jeans. And you got to you get on the roof at 6 a.m. You have a razor blade. You cut into rubber. And the rubber's wet because of dew. And there goes a cat hair. The rubber is wet from dew. And that gets you all wet. And you got to throw that into wheelbarrows. And you throw it off the side of the roof. Literally, you go to the edge of the roof. And you just dump it. And it falls. And, the guy Curtis, he's the boss, and he's walking around barely speaking English, and he steps into the roof, and he goes up to his knee, because you heard before you got on the roof that this guy's known for falling through the roof. So that happens, and then after the rubber, it's fiberglass. You pick that up. It goes into the air. It's in your lungs. It makes you itchy. That's why you wear the long sleeves. And that you finish that usually by 11. Now you're standing on metal. It's just a metal frame that you could spit, and it would go through into the guy doing office stuff downstairs. He's not, because they evacuate, because they don't want to get fiberglass in their lungs, and they don't want Curtis to fall on them. So, yeah, you do that, and then after that you start putting down roof, which is new fiberglass and newer rubber, and you end around 2, and it's hot, and, guys on the roof, all they do is talk about cheating on their wives, and the one guy, Gary, was cool, because he was this big jack guy, and all he would do all day was talk to me and my buddy who roofed with me every summer. He would talk to us about how much he liked sex, and he would just describe in detail his sexual escapades, but also he was a stripper in Brooklyn, and he said to me, he's a black guy, he was like, you could come with me, and you could strip with me, you'd be white chocolate. And, you're making decent money on the roof, but it's a hard job, so you think, well, maybe I'll be white chocolate. I don't mind that. That would be a fun gig if it pays well. So, yeah, Gary was a good guy. And the best of the roof was just when we worked on Rutgers. It was like the college dorm and stuff, because then I ended up, I don't know, I was just driving a truck on the ground, it was just the pickup truck to bring the trash to the dumpster at the other end of the campus. So, you got to, one of us was driving and one was walking, just to be spotter, and you could just wave at ladies and stuff. But, she doesn't want to date me because I'm in boots and a hard hat, and she's studying neuroscience, and I mean, maybe roofing's an honest living. I'm not, taking away from roofing, but that's just my perception, because I discredit myself when talking to ladies. So that was fun. Also, the scissor lift was at that job, and it was like a ladder to scaffolding, and then on that was a huge ladder up. And I remember the very first day at this job, the guy puts the ladder on and wasn't tied off yet. He's like, all right, Sean, go up and tie it off. And that was probably the scariest thing of my life. Even once it was tied off, this ladder was terrifying. And there was also a scissor lift. But the scissor lift, you had to climb over onto the roof, and you had to be over. You had to clip on, but the thing would move. It felt like it could fall at any moment. So it was just a scary job all around. And guys would argue, and they yell at each other, but basically all that to say, I've been thinking about roofing again. So only because when you're at a job and you're not stoked on it, you start thinking about your other opportunities. It's not my job now is fine. It's just a lot of work, but roofing's a lot of work. So I don't know what I'm thinking or what I'm saying, but basically, it was flat roofing. It's not like the pitch, like the house roofing. But it was cool. Sometimes you'd see a cool view of the city, or I would get to go get lunch for guys. You'd have to do the lunch runs. That was fun. You take everybody's order. But then sometimes they'd be take it out of the change, get me a coffee. And then you have to stand up for yourself and no, I'm not doing that. Or sometimes you get to buy your lunch with the change. I forget, kind of, but there was there was a, they knew that you were allowed to do that, so that they would try and do that. They'd be like, well, just get me a coffee with the change, and you have to be like, dude, I know you've been to prison and you're intimidating, but come on, man, I'm not getting you a coffee with everybody's change. I'm getting myself a coffee with everybody's change. It was a cool job. It made you realize why. I remember my dad would always be like, you're staying in school, right? It makes you want to stay in school. And props to him. and my grandpa, because they did it for years, and all the guys that are up there, and then there was like 60 and 70-year-olds. At the very least, I mean, once you become a journeyman, because I was an apprentice, like Star Wars, but, a little less cool. But once you become a journeyman, you do less of the bitch work. Like, the apprentices, they're the ones that, like, they're like, get in the dumpster and, like, organize the dumpster. And now you're, like, back with the fiberglass, and you're, like, stacking it and trying to, like, make it neat. So the coolest job ever, we were on a prison. That was cool. And the guy was saying that he was on a prison once that was active, and that people were, like, the prisoners were, like, saying shit to him through the windows, like, "I'll fuck your mom." Maybe my dad told me this. I don't even remember. Somebody told me this, and that they were like, how are you going to do that? Because he's in prison. So that was funny. But it was cool to just, like, get to see, I don't know, you, like, drive through all these barbed wire fences. And at the prison I was on was not active, so I guess it was going to be active. But that was one of the cooler jobs, because it was like, and in Shawshank Redemption, actually, they're roofers. They're flat roofers. So, definitely watch that movie if you want to see a taste of what it was like. The only thing was I was allowed to leave at the end of the day. And the foreman, he could be mean, but he wasn't, a Nazi prison guard. He was just an oaf. A lot of smart guys, but the one that I was with was like a, sort of an oaf. Sort of a mean, yell, not much thinking going on. With the one guy. Everybody else was cool. Roof isn't honest living or whatever. But, yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm dealing with. One more piece of internet lore. Talk the podcast. I feel like Meat Canyon did a video about her. And everybody's like, the meme is to hate on this girl. And I do get it to some extent. Talk, like, I've seen the memes. It is funny. But I also feel like people, the comments are like, why did we make this girl famous? And I'm like, you are making her famous by being mad at her being famous. People hate, and then it's like such an easy. It is such an easy thought. It's not like a novel perspective to be like, this girl shouldn't be famous. You saying that is continuing and perpetuating her fame. If you do not want her to be famous, scroll past it. People just like, they get angry, and they're part of the sheep mentality. They think they're above it. They think they're smarter than it. But by engaging with it, you are perpetuating it and making her famous. So you are also a sheeple. I'd like to make my own Meat Canyon where she's just a little sweet girl, and the internet's like, how could she? They're the gross Meat Canyon figurines. And they're like, and because people just love to despise somebody and feel above somebody, I think. And I'm not saying Talk is revolutionary. It's certainly no pretend I'm your friend. But it is a chick with a microphone. Come on. It's the new world, people. Get over it. Get over it. People, they talk, and if they have a little bit of a personality, they could be people used to say, I'd be great on a reality show. We live in a world where you could prove that to be true. You can make yourself famous. And guess what? She would have been right if she said it, because people like her personality. What are you doing? You're sitting at home commenting. I'm not saying she's the Mona Lisa. Well, that's the painting. I'm not saying she's Noah's Ark. Just like saying things that are. Who's a famous woman? Frida Kahlo. I'm not saying she's her. But she's a chick with a microphone, and guys like it. Girls think she's funny. She is silly. She's got a funny way of talking. She's like a Theo Von sort of quality about her. But, people hate her. The Rizzler, Jimmy Fallon, there's no beef there, okay? The guy's bored of his job. He's just trying to make the job work. He's been doing it for years. He's over it. He's got to sit with the Rizzler and do the boom meter and try and be excited about it. If you did that for 10 years or however long he's been doing it, you would have to force your way through it. It doesn't mean he's being I don't think a lot of the tweets were like he ignored the Rizzler when the Rizzler asked where to put the snack. He's got a million people watching him on. He's trying to bumble through whatever this segment is. He didn't hear the kid. That's my take. So I know it's been a crazy week in the world, in America. I had to weigh in on that. I had to give you guys my 2 cents. I know I'm going to lose subscribers. I know I'm going to get 400 views, and one of you are going to be a 10-year-old that asks why my engagement's so poor. It's because I defend Jimmy Fallon and Hawk Taw. But, you know, I'm brave. That's what I am. Maybe more of you should be. Is there anything I missed? I'll do one more thing. Yeah. I went to get my glasses fixed because the frame was broken, and the lady, it was just like a little bent. And she's like, yeah, we can do it for free. No worries. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I gave it to her. She's like, just so you know, we're not responsible if anything happens to these. I was like, what? And she brought them back, and they were shattered. And she's like, yeah, sorry, we couldn't do it. So I don't know what that was about, but I got new glasses I bought new glasses. Maybe they wanted me to buy. That's what they. It was just weird. It was just weird. But let's see. What do you guys think of them? And should I cut the hair? You know, it's a little. Yeah, I think it's time. I'm also trying to. I notice every hottest girl online. Like every girl that I'm like, wow, she's so gorgeous. I look at who their boyfriend is. I'm like, what do I gotta look like? And it's a guy with like a beard. And so I'm like trying to grow this out, but it's really, I can't do it. Look at this. Can you see it? It's like red. I don't know. I'm going to Texas this week. I'll be at the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, so that'll be cool. Maybe I'll talk about that on the next one. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I hit at least 20 minutes. And yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for watching.